Hello everyone, good afternoon for all of you, and thank you for coming in this session for my pursuit of USEF vision. I'm really excited to see a lot of you here. I hope you find my words interesting and inspiring as well. First of all, I'd like to thank USEF-Nepal for providing me this opportunity to share my story and experience to prospective US applicants. As Sudham sir already mentioned, I used to come USEF-Nepal more than 2 years ago. So my desire to go US was very intense. So I used to come very frequently here and use different services, and although it took me 2 years, finally I'm going to US, so I'm really happy for that. And my individual thanks to Sarna ma'am, Sudham sir and Priyani ma'am for their unconditional support and help during this entire application process. It's only due to their advice, support that I'm able to make my way to US this fall. So today I'd like to break down this session into different parts. The first one is my introduction. I think very few of you know me, and I think it's a good idea to introduce myself at least a little bit. My hometown is in Moram. I was born in a small village called Salisbury. I still remember around 20 years back, my village, it was not so much developed. There weren't electricity, there wasn't even roads. So I just lived kind of, primitive life, of village life. So at that time, I did not have this big desire to go to US. When I consider myself at that time, I just cannot think one day I will. However, today I feel very proud that my dream to go to US has become successful. So I would like to say one thing here, just ending my introduction. Don't ever try to underestimate yourself due to some kind of weakness or like that. When I look from here, each of you have different kind of potentials. So if you really work hard, if you can do something that is right for the application, you can be successful. So don't hesitate to work hard. You'll be fine one day. I like to, this was a little bit about my schooling as well, because I spent more than 10 years just studying here. I started up to SLC level in Sri Moram Manual English School, which was just a few minutes away from my home. I really enjoyed my school life, as many of you also may have. In the school, I was a brilliant student, and in Nepal, like in the schools, academically good students are really loved and cared for. So I was really happy to be in that school, because all the teachers were really helpful, and my friends were also really assisting me in different activities, and they also had a kind of respect for me since I was the class topper. And I'd like to recall a small experience that I had in school. First of all, like in class 2 or 3, I used to become class 2nd, and there was always a boy ahead of me, and he used to just beat me by 40 to 50 marks. And since I was second in the class, I was really happy because that was also a good position. Later on, while talking with friends, or I heard my friends discussing about the topper boy, and they just praised him a lot more than me. And I just thought, why shouldn't I work even harder and get to the top of the position? And from that day, I studied really hard, and after 1 or 2 years, I was able to beat him. And until class 10, no one else could just surpass in the score. So we always have a habit of being satisfied on what we have. But what I want to say here is, if you can achieve something more than what you are having right now, and that will really make you happy. So like my transition from that second position to first one was a time of grand happiness for me. After I completed my class 10, with a lot of hopes and expectations, I came to Kathmandu Valley for my higher studies. I joined JBL International College for my 10+2 in science. They provide me a very generous scholarship, like include my own tuition and even my transportation fees. So I do not have to pay much to the college. However, I remember a disadvantage that I had coming to Kathmandu. I was alone from my school to study in that college, and I just lost my friends. And I will share one habit of mine. Like I am not that kind of person who is really sociable, so it was very difficult for me to make new friends and get accustomed to college, since it was really new for me. Maybe because I do not know about different things in this city. I am from a small village and all. So after I completed my +2, as many students have confusion what to do next and all. So I really, like, my relatives or my grandparents used to say, like, you have to become doctor, engineer, pilot, and something like that when I was small. So I tried engineering, and I went for engineering preparation course. I went for 2 or 3 days, and for some unknown reasons I just did not like, and I just dropped it. So after that, I was looking for another option, what really interests me, and I came to USEF with my father because I thought that this organization would help Nepali students to apply to US. I came with him because going to the United States was somewhere in my heart from very beginning. I had not shared this thing to anyone before that, and I came here, and I just remember meeting Sulav for the first time, and I found his advice very interesting. He said, like, it's a very opportune time to apply to US, many students like you are applying, so why don't you come here, use the services and apply. So I really remember that event because nobody else had ever before told me that you can also apply to US or you can also do things like this and all. So I really remember that moment, and a special thanks to you now. And after that, I used to come here almost daily, and I began my college application. College application can be really stressful at that time. I think many of you have already started, and you are already feeling that kind of worriness or stress. And I myself have also gone through that point. I want to mention, like you mentioned one thing, don't get stressed too much, because everyone is same. Just think all of us are equal, and there are a lot of things that you need to do simultaneously during the application process. So be prepared to take rigor in your daily activities. For me, like I took my TOEFL on September and SATs on December, and I applied for the first year to around 4 to 5 colleges. But during my first year, I didn't have that much experience and like information, and maybe due to lack of proper guidance, proper advice and guidance, I could not succeed in my application process. Although I was accepted by a couple of universities, I could not get a general scholarship. So I was really hopeless at that time. I still remember the disappointed time that I spent during spring 2013, and I was really disappointed at that time because I had not joined any courses here in Nepal, and unfortunately the US application process also didn't work. So one day I was just randomly or purposely using Facebook in my computer in my dad's office, and I saw this announcement for Opportunity Funding Program, and I was really excited at that time to see that, and I just closed everything else and searched through that website given in the post, and I went through, and it was a really wonderful program which helps to which help underprivileged students to apply in the US. So I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity, so I just applied. And like I think USEF program has played a vital role in my college application process, still in the second year, because I already had spent a lot of money during my first year, and I think my family would not pay my college application cost for my second year. So I was really relieved after that. My hopes came back, and I applied through this program, and now here I am. I have succeeded through this program, and I'm really feeling happy for it. So from my experience, I would like to give some advice or tips for you during the college. So my first advice would be start early. It was like only after class 12 that I started my college application process. Now I wish I could have started my college thought or my application process well ahead before my graduation, like when I was in class 11 or 12. If I had done like that, maybe I may not have to take 2 gap years after my high school. And starting early has always an advantage. Maybe we have been hearing advice here to start early, do things on time. So students who have been proactive from the beginning will be successful. So my first advice would be to start early everything, so that you will have a lot of time to think, analyze different components of your application. My second advice would be to do a lot of college search. There are a lot of universities and colleges in US, maybe 4,000 plus, but very few of them can be fit for you. So I would like to request you to do a lot of college search. A lot of college search. Different colleges may have different requirements. Like some colleges may require you to have certain CPAs or certain SAT scores. So we should really dig into the college website or some search sites in order to know different details about the college and determine which college is best fit for you. And another thing is that there's a thing called financial aid, which matters a lot for us. So there are very less colleges, very few colleges in the US which offer good financial aid, and which can be competitive as well. And there are also there may be also some colleges which you may not have heard till now, but still it can give you a good scholarship. So if you can do a very thorough search, I think you will not have much problem with choosing college and choosing the right college for you. Be strict to deadlines and requirements. This is the third advice that I would like to give. College application deadlines should never be neglected or taken lightly. Once it is missed, it will never come back. So you have to stick to the deadlines and plan ahead accordingly. Most of us have a habit of procrastination. So if you have this kind of habit, please leave it right from now. Procrastination can hurt a lot in your application process. Once you miss the deadline, you will never get a second chance, in spite of how many requests you make. So you have to be very cautious about the deadlines and different deadlines. And one thing I would like to say is that some colleges may have priority deadlines. So try to beat that priority deadlines in order to be considered more than any other students who apply late. And talking about requirements, many colleges have almost same requirements, but there will be few colleges on your list that may require some kind of other application requirements, such as CSS financial profile, or they may require you to evaluate your transcript by WS or any other agency. So you must be very careful with that, because a slight error can miss your application a lot. Now my fourth advice would be to make communications. Communications is really important, either whether it be with alumni students or students who have already succeeded, or with colleges. From students who have already been successful through this process, you can gain a lot of experience. Be sure to ask them what mistakes did they do during their application process, what were their good points, and although you may not try to copy them, you may follow them, you may not try to repeat that mistake for your own sake, and you will be fine for that. And college communication also matters a lot. my view. Because if you are in constant touch with your college, this shows that you are really interested. And even if you are a very good student, sometimes a good email can let you waive your application fee or some other fees. I also like was constant touch with one college, that's junior college, and I asked for the CSS waiver code, and it shortly provided me with that waiver code. Otherwise, I may have to pay $16 for that thing. So sad, the most scary thing in my application process. So I have faced a lot of trouble with that. I'm really happy that I may not have to ever start again in my life now. Yeah. And Nepali students, like when I meet them, they say like, you have finished college, have experience? Yes. So their first question will be, what was your status scores? And they will ask about my every scores and there are different personalities on that, depending on the students. Some consider it really important, and some say that if you have average score and if you have other application components very strong, you can be in good standing. However, I think like it depends upon the situation. If you are looking for merit scholarships, you really have to do well on the SATs, because there are certain minimum criteria for providing scholarship. So if you cannot score to that range, they may not consider you for scholarship. Although SAT is important component of application, this is not be taken too critical. It's not just spend 15 hours out of 25 hours doing SAT thing only. You have to give time to other things as well. I've also seen many students doing SAT multiple times. It's okay to do SAT 2 or 3 times, but what I want to say is that if your SAT scores matches your academic performance or matches the level, then you can just stop doing for SAT. You can consider for other things. Because you cannot think that a perfect score on SAT will get me into any good colleges. It's same thing that only like if you get 2400 on SAT, then you'll be going to any college like this or Milbank or whatever. So I'd also like to share some tips with you regarding this SAT. I hope you love it. The most difficult part, maybe for many of you, will be critical reading section, and for me also a difficult part. If you have a habit of reading different kind of books, like novels, story books, newspaper, or whatever comes in handy, then you will be really doing well on reading sections. What problem that we face in the reading section is that we do not understand how the passage flows and some words that are used in that. So you make habit of doing a lot of practice also. Although like practice may not make you perfect, but it will certainly help you to earn a very good score. So practice as many tests as you can. What my advice is that you take full length practice test, not a single section. Like first of all, like I used to do on the math thing only because it was easy for me, and I didn't concentrate on reading section, and I really had a low score. So I want you to practice a lot, take serious practice tests. because this is new test for us and we must get accustomed to it. We must do everything on time and attend all the questions. So a lot of practice can help you to get a good score. Most of the time we'll be stressing on time factor while doing the test. So please practice and practice and practice a lot. I think you do not need any special tips on maths because many of you may be doing good than me on that. What I want to say is that try to avoid silly mistakes in math. Most of the time the student may think that it's easy and just try to do it really fast. And they will be really excited to finish well ahead of time. So don't do like that. Use as much time as you have to do all the questions and make sure you have not missed out anything just because of your hurry. And for writing section, if you are good in English grammar and if you can write a nice essay, then you will not have any problem. But writing section also can be tricky sometimes because they are also testing on how careful you are while doing any kind of examinations. This is all about essays. I'd like to talk about recommends in the first. I think you already know, like, it's really tough thing to get recommends letter here in Nepal. We compare all other things, but recommends letter are not easily obtained because someone else is writing for you. And teachers here in Nepal are not that helpful in many colleges, but in some good colleges, I have experience. I have teachers writing a very nice letter of recommendation. In my case also, I faced a kind of trouble. Once I asked my teacher to write a recommendation letter just before the sale break. So I thought he has a very long holiday of 1 month, so he will do all the when I went after TR, and then he was just saying, you know, sorry back, I didn't do, I was in this festive mood and I just forgot that. I'm really sorry for that. It happened like that. So I had to make a frequent request to my teachers to do this recommendation things. So this also, like, since teacher will follow that even a month, so you can also try to do things on time. So this year you can even contact your teachers or professors right now and tell that you are applying to US, so I need very wonderful recommendation. I'm applying to very nice colleges, so please do it for me. This is all about it. And essays are very most important, and it is important indeed. Essay can be a very, very sensitive part in the application process, because in application essay you write about yourself. So whatever you write in your essay, give a picture of you to the admission officer. So this year to devote enough time for the essay thing. My advice on writing application essay would be like, first of all, try to brainstorm what you are going to write. We hear that the application essay should be unique, or it should have a very unique topic. But I don't think you should have a really unique topic, because in application essay, what matters is how you write, what's your writing skill, what you have written in that essay, what's the content of it, how the story that you write in your essay explains you, or how something has influenced you. So be sure to make essay really, really strong. this is really important because many students have good SAT scores. Like let's say there are two students applying to certain university, and they both have 4 GPA, they both have 2200 in SATs, and they may have very nice recurrence letters from professors. So, but these things can match, but your essay will never match. So, in that situation, a person who has written nice essay or who really has a good personality will get it accepted. So, please devote a lot of time in this essay. This is extracurricular activities. Although I mentioned in the last, but they are also equally important in your application. Application process, I already said it will be stressful in the beginning, and you have to prepare for the standardized tests, and you have to write essays, and or you have to do a lot of college search. So you may do some kind of activities to engage yourself, to refresh yourself, and one advice on this issue is don't try to impress others by doing a lot of activities. Of course, you may be counted as a person who have a lot of PCF, but doing only just getting involved and running out of it, just getting certificate and all, that will not help. My advice would be to get engaged in 2 or 3 activities that you are really passionate about, and that fits your time schedules. Talking about me, like I did a couple of volunteers in different activities, like I got opportunity to volunteer in US-Nepal Education Fair on February 2014, and after that I volunteered in this sports carnival. I still remember the fun that we had in the sports carnival, and although we had to do a lot of work there, I still enjoyed it. And doing this year, like you can make a group of friends and try something new as well. So like when living with friends, you will have different kind of connections. You may share your experience of application, and this may help you a lot when you are working in a group. You can even like form a group and sit somewhere and take essay practice tests or do some other application activities. Like doing essay practice tests in a group will be really helpful. I also have experience. Like I used to sit somewhere at home and sit to do my tests, and there is always something disturbing, and we always get distracted there. Sometimes there is unusual sound, or sometimes we feel to drink water, and since there is no one to just control you emotionally, we always get distracted. But when we are in a friends, everyone will be considering on this. So we really feel a kind of group pressure for that. We also the OF students, we used to be together and do many practices, and I think that helped me a lot. When I was small in my village, some people like uncles or like some other people, when I used to work in the street, they used to call me and say, how are you doing and how is your studies? I used to say, I'm doing well. And at the end they used to say, you have to go to US. This will make you to go to US. They say like that, and I used to doing okay. And I didn't expect that much because I didn't have much idea what we do say more and more. It was only after I came here at USEF that my childhood US became even stronger. I consider USEF-Nepal as the foundation place for my dream to go to US. I have a couple of reasons to choose US and education destination. I still am undecided about major. If someone asks me like, what subject are you going to study in the future, I don't really have any basic answer. I don't have very strict answer. I'll be doing mechanical engineering or I'll be doing computer science or I'll be doing this and that. So you guys have a lot of choices in courses. After I completed my +2, like science, I was almost fed up of this memorizing physics formula, questions, and this mathematical derivatives and integration. I didn't even have an option to try something new beyond that. So I came to know that US offers a very flexible, US is very flexible in terms of courses, and we can study any subjects, any number of subjects that we are interested in, as long as we can handle the rules. And like I also have an internal feeling that a class should be really small. Like each professor gives you individual attention and care. I think in that condition, everyone can, not everyone, but most of the students can excel academically. So you guys are also really low student to faculty. So that means you will have very small size class, and you can get pure attention from the professors and faculty. And like I also wanted to go to US because I used to hear critics of people, US, which country is your dream country? They said US. And I was also internally thinking of going to US. So I think US education will fulfill the needs that I mentioned before. My final was I'd like to quote our executive director of USEF-Nepal. She said that opportunities don't fall by chance. We have to go and grab it. So when you get an opportunity, please try to make the most out of it, and try to change yourself. Like you are getting an opportunity to apply to US, so please employ your maximum effort for it. Be assured that your hard work will ultimately be paid off. So don't hesitate to work hard, and always keep hopes in your internal heart that I'm going to succeed. I also always had a hope in my heart, so I did not get that frustrated after I was not successful for the first year. So hope is something that will always relieve your desires and all. Thank you for your time, for being with me and listening. So I'd like to open this session for questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I was expecting this question, so I did not say it. I'll say the individual scores. Like I got 580 on reading, 770 on mathematics, and 620 on writing. That will sum up to 1970. Not that will be score. Yeah.
Will you tell me about your college?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Like, I'm going to University of New Orleans. It is in southern part of the United States. It is between Louisiana State and New Orleans City. It's medium-sized university. It's not that small or that big. There are a lot of courses in the university that I'm going at. They have a engineering department within this school, science and art, interdisciplinary, and so on. So I applied to this university on January, I think, and I got my decision on late February, and I think it will be someone interested to know the financial aid that I got from this university. The financial aid that I got covers my tuition and my rent board, and I'll be getting $500 stipends for buying books and supplies. So I still have to pay something from my side to this university, and that would be health insurance and some other fees like national student fee and all. That's all. To be honest, I would say I still don't have a major decided. While applying, I wrote undecided, and the university asked me to at least decide a major for some time, and you will be happy to. They said that you can change when you are on campus. So I choose mathematics, and again, I changed this to computer science while we're studying for classes. So I'll be studying computer science for at least this fall semester.
State university, right?
Yeah.
So what work do you in order to get the achievement of financial aid?
What are the requirements to get financial aid?
No, I want to know what worked for you that you got so much amount like this scholarship.
What worked for you? Okay, I'd say they have a scholarship called Homer scholarship, and that is mostly based on your high school GPA and your SK scores. You have to maintain a certain GPA like that. I think 3.5 or something, and you should have a score of 13, 14, your combined reading and math scores. So those are the main criteria for getting financial aid, and they may have considered some other things as well. That's all.
So you mean to say that all your financial aid apart from the meetings based scholarship side?
Sorry, repeat it.
So all your financial aid are from the meeting based scholarship?
Literally they are merit based.
What is your gross fee score?
I got an aggregate score of 78.3. My total score is at least 3-digit number. That's 100 exactly.
Any other questions for Rajan?
Exactly how you felt when you wrote the center. That was the most happiest moment, I've been applying a couple of university and acceptance will obviously bring certain kind of happiness, because we will feel at the end that all of the effort that we have put has an outcome and good outcome. So I felt very, very excited because I thought it was one good step for getting the US education.
Rajan, I know you have already said final words, but any final words?
I think I should wish you all the best. I wish you all the best for your application process, those who are applying, and this year to have to be resources here in USEF-Nepal. It's just literally everything, you know. Like, I think most of you have read that recent review in the backside. It said, if you need for something for the day, it's here in this book. So I'd like to use that word. Like, if you need something for getting information out of US education, it's here at USEF. So make most out of the services here.
Okay, thank you, Rajan.